Alright, so I'm going to try this stream one more time, this time at 720p. Okay, so hopefully those that were watching the previous stream accept my apologies for the technical difficulties. I'm still kind of learning this streaming thing. I think I may have recognized the problem. When I set it up to do the 1080p, I may have set up the ingestion rate on YouTube incorrectly, which caused the buffering. Because I didn't have the buffering problem on the previous stream where I did 1080p. So I appreciate you guys letting me know. And as unfortunate it is that I canceled that stream and now I'm setting up another one that is going to be a different URL, and I had already had someone share that stream. Hopefully you don't mind if I ask you to go correct that post and share this stream instead. See if you guys came into the comments yet. Doesn't look like it. However, hopefully you'll be back soon. I'm still working on my color chart. Okay, that's great, Anne. Thank you. Thank you. Still trying to work out all the bugs, I guess. I will try it one more time on a different stream. Maybe I'll just do a private one, see if it works or something like that. Thanks for letting me know that you are having a buffering issue. That was on my side, not yours, so I have to work that out a little bit, because I know that I have the internet speed to upload, but I think I just had the settings a little wrong, so that's what happened there. But I know that Alex had shared my live stream in Lockery Fine Art group, so unfortunately people are going to be redirected to the wrong stream. So if you happen to find that post in the group, maybe just share the link to this one in the comment on that post. I don't even remember what we were discussing, unfortunately. I was trying to read the comments, and then all of a sudden the comments about the buffering issue. So again, I apologize for that mix-up and complication. So I think what I was going to talk about was how I set up this color palette and what I was going to do. So I have 144 squares, it's 12 by 12, and I only have 48 colors, which is nice because that's exactly 1/3 of this chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the 48 colors, and then I'm going to take the same 48 colors with 50% white and then 50% black, so I'll have a nice value selection for all the colors as well as the colors themselves. Hello again, Stephanie. Thanks for jumping back over to this stream. Thank you, Anne, for helping out. I appreciate that. So what do you guys want to talk about in this stream? We were talking about some other YouTube artists and whatnot, but I didn't really have much plans for this stream except for doing the color chart. I was hoping to convince a few people to do a color chart along with me, because I know they're boring, so being able to talk to somebody is nice. Though I kind of have the benefit of being able to talk to the camera and you guys hearing me as opposed to having to stop and type. Oh, this color's really translucent. I'm going to have to put multiple coats of this color down in order to cover up the white paper. I'm so excited to start painting again. I don't even remember the last painting I've done. I'm going to be doing a painting in the next couple weeks, actually. It's going to be somewhat of a collaboration with a few known YouTube artists. I think you all will know who I'm talking about when the video comes out, but I think I'm just going to wait and leave that as a surprise. I don't think anybody's told anybody else, so I'm just going to keep that secret amongst the group of us that are doing the collaboration. Welcome back again, Paul. Or Alex, sorry. I looked up and saw your last name and, yeah, called you by your last name. I think I'll wait for this color to dry a little bit and then do another coat of it. Give it a chance to dry a bit more. And move on to the next color. I need 48 paintbrushes so I can just use one for every color. It takes too long to clean out the brush. Start the next square, teeny tiny little square. It takes 30 seconds to paint the square, but it takes 2 minutes to clean the brush. Yeah, you should do one anyway, Stephanie. Just color some circles. That's what I like to do sometimes. Switch it up, instead of doing squares, do circles. But even, I mean, if you just use it for, or if you just color, I mean, you don't necessarily have to draw. Then it's even more of a reason, because you can just look over and see exactly what color you want to use, and not have to guess and check. Speaking of coloring books, since you brought it up in the comment, I haven't shared this plan with many people, and I was meaning to launch another Kickstarter this month. I don't think that I'm going to get to it. In fact, I can guarantee you that I won't get to it. But for the past 5 months now, oh, thank you, Alex. I appreciate that. For the past 5 months, I've been working on creating my own coloring book. I currently have 8 very detailed original drawings that I have not shared with anybody, with the exception of my fiance and my older sister, and she hasn't even seen all of them yet. But I wanted to make a Kickstarter to launch my coloring book so that I could have physical copies of my coloring book as opposed to just digital downloads. However, I haven't quite gotten to the point where I want to launch the Kickstarter because I'm not finished with the drawings yet. I want to have them drawn out and inked. And I think what I might actually do is I'll take those drawings and I'll start working on them during my live streams. It might help get a few people more interested in the project. So I might do that actually next week. I might start working on those drawings. I have 3 of them on paper right now, but I did them digitally. I designed them digitally, and I'm transferring them over to traditional stuff. They're really just sketches digitally. They're not the final thing. So I still have a lot of work to do on them, but I really want to get them done sometime this year for sure. How would I go about differentiating between pencils? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. I assume you're referring to different brands, and if that is the case, what I do is I only have my luminance pencils on one paper. I wouldn't like add Prismacolors to that same paper. I would do a completely different chart for Prismacolor pencils or anything like that. So if that's what your question's referring to, then that's what I would do. Yes, that's exactly what I do. I mark the pencil with the number. So I'll pull down one of my charts here and show you exactly what I do. So this chart here is for my markers. And you can see this also I have 144 markers, which just happens to be the same amount for the paint that I'm going to do today. And you can see I wrote down the numbers for every single marker. And then I also have a box that holds all 144, and I have them in the same order. I'm kind of a neat freak in that way. But I can just open up my drawer and look at the location that this marker is and just reach down and grab it without even having to really look all that much. But that's what I do for my pencils as well. That coloring chart's held up a little bit more sturdy on the wall, so I don't want to pull it off. But that's what I did with my pencils as well. And though it takes a really long time to do these coloring charts, it's so beneficial. Like, when I took an art class in college, and I remember like my art teacher saying that it's nice to have a color palette thing for your paint and stuff like that. And people had these little, like almost like a note card with like just a mark of the paint, and then they had like another note card, and they were held together by a ring. I wouldn't want to do something like that. I like seeing all the colors at once, so I prefer to do the chart completely on one piece of paper. Yes, it would be nice for you to be able to participate. It would be fun. That's what I'm hoping to do. Now I kind of remember what I was going to talk about in this live stream a bit more, aside from just doing a color chart, is the update that I'm going to be doing to my Patreon page. once now that I've had some technical difficulty with the stream, now I think I'm gonna probably just stick with this 720p live stream. I might try the 1080p one more time because I prefer to have the highest quality video that I can produce. But one of the things that I'm going to be changing on my Patreon page is I'm going to be doing some of my projects and especially my tutorials as a live stream, a private live stream for my Patreon supporters, where, you know, hopefully you can follow along. I'll have the list of supplies that I'll be using, and I'll try to keep that up to date as far as those tutorials. That way everybody can follow along as they please during the live stream and just chat and hang out and create art together. That's what I would just absolutely love to do. And I'm going to be changing the pay scale thing on there as well. It'll just be $10 a month for like every Friday painting class, basically. And I think that's pretty reasonable. 4 or 5 times a month, you know, a few hours at least every live stream of doing a piece from beginning to end, my instruction and everything like that. I think that's a reasonable price. So I'll be removing the 13 and the $6 ones that I have now and just be making it the $10 one for the weekly painting drawing class, basically. I'm not sure what I'll call it, but hopefully I don't lose any of the current patrons that I have right now if I make that change. But I want to make sure that my live streams are really, really solid before I do that. I want to have everything good, no struggles for those live streams. I want to keep them as good as possible. I am going to be doing another live stream Wednesday of this week's tutorial. I'm actually going to be doing the next few weeks, probably, most likely, as live stream tutorials. So I can kind of get used to setting up and just kind of introducing the idea a bit more. As far as participating and doing tutorials on a live stream, I think that it would be a lot of fun, and hopefully I can get a few people to actually grab their art supplies and do the piece along with me. I think it would be just awesome to help introduce the idea as well. Back to cleaning my brush. I feel like half this live stream is spent cleaning my brush. Let's see, I have nine colors down, only 135 more to go. I'm guessing this stream will be quite long. I don't think I showed. I need to grab my sketchbook. I don't think I showed the completed drawing that I did last week, for last week's live stream. I kind of showed it, but as you'll notice, my camera angle is much nicer. And the reason is because I was surprised Friday evening to get my last bit of gear that I ordered for my live stream stuff. And that's my mount to have my camera right above my table, so I'm excited about that. But I don't think I showed the final drawing that I did last week, so here's this. This is the final drawing, a much better lighting, camera angle, so that you can see the details and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what I did last week, and this is what I have planned for this week. So for the other thing that I forgot to mention was that I did finally ship out all of the things for the people that supported me on Patreon, or supported my Kickstarter for my live streams. So if you were among the few people that helped support that Kickstarter, your print is in the mail as of Friday, actually. I sent it on Friday. So there is still a couple people, however, that, thank you, Stephanie, glad you liked it. There is still a few people that need to reply back on Kickstarter so that I can send their print. But one other thing is that the printer actually made a bit of a mistake, and they actually doubled my order for all of my 10 by 15s. They are the glossy kind, which I don't particularly like, but they still look really nice. So now I have a whole bunch of extra prints that I have nothing to do with. So I'm probably going to do a giveaway on some occasion or something like that, and just give a bunch of prints away. Or if you want to buy a print, you can email me and I'm happy to sell you a print of something. And again, I'm cleaning my brush. My water is really pink right now. All the reds and oranges. One moment. That's another thing that I hope to have fixed soon once I buy a new camcorder. Because right now I'm still using my Canon, which likes to shut off every half hour of recording, which really doesn't make sense why they would do such a thing and not have some kind of override. But unfortunately, I can't shut it off. As many forum posts as I've read about it, there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to wait until I can buy a new camera. Also, speaking of buying a new camera, so I officially reached my first goal on Patreon the other day. I noticed I was super excited about it, which means I will be doing YouTube full-time for at least the rest of this year, for sure. Hopefully I can, once I change my Patreon and I do the live stream tutorials, I'm hoping that helps boost my Patreon support a bit more so that I can continue doing this for much, much longer, instead of having to get a real job. I don't know if I've ever worked this hard before in my life, to be honest with you. The amount of time and effort I put in every day to run my YouTube channel is a lot more than what I thought it was going to be, I suppose, in the beginning. I never really thought I'd put as much work as I do into it when I first started my channel. But there's so much more involved in it than I anticipated. This looks like a metallic copper color. Yeah, a bit shiny. I actually organized my paint based on the color on the outside, but that seems to have been the wrong method of organizing it. It looks good when it's sitting there, but now I'm putting this metallic paint in the middle of all the other colors. It doesn't really flow very well. Yeah, well, well, hopefully I've expressed somewhat the amount of work that I put into my channel. I would say that if I only had a 40-hour work week, then you wouldn't see half the videos that you do. I really have to try to get into a better rhythm as far as creating so that I can stop working on the weekends. Hello again, Chrissy. Welcome back. Sorry again for the previous live stream issues. I just finished my first tray of paint. I'm working on the next tray. The next 12 colors. Yeah, I would really like to be able to not work on the weekends again. I suppose if I get a little bit more organized, then maybe I could stop doing that, but as of right now, it's really, since I added the live streaming to my weekly schedule, I have to get reacquainted and kind of establish a new rhythm of work. The live streams save me a lot of time as far as post-editing, particularly for this video. I like this live stream because I no longer have to do the insane amount of waiting for the video to render when I previously recorded it. And I don't really have to, I mean, I'm always thinking about things to talk about in my drawing journals before I just started doing the live ones. And now, like, I think of things throughout the week, and then of course you guys leave me comments and ask questions, which is really great because that gives me a much easier way to think of what I'm going to talk about next. But for the drawing journals previously, I always tried to think of a few things right before recording the video, and then of course trying to ramble on through that entire video was sometimes difficult. And there was times where I'd sit there and I'd be drawing and recording for 10 minutes or something like that, and I'd just get stuck, and it'd just be like a minute to 2 minutes of just pure silence, and I would realize then, like, I can't upload this video. It's 2 minutes of silently drawing. And so I always tried to make the drawing journal as entertaining as I could by having things to talk about. And then of course I'd have to go through and edit it and wait for the video to render out for just an obscene amount of time. I mean, it would take me 25 minutes to record the video, but it'd take me 4 hours to get it uploaded to YouTube. And now YouTube just uploads 4-hour long videos from this live stream. So thanks, Stephanie. I appreciate that sentiment. Yeah, I will have some time to myself in the next couple weeks, actually. I'll be leaving for a few days and going to London. So it's not really a pleasure trip. It's more like a requirement. But I won't be working, so I'll have plenty of work to do when I get back. I'll get back on, I think I get back on a Monday. I can't quite remember. Maybe it's a Sunday. I would have to look at my itinerary. But yeah, eventually I think I'll get into a good rhythm. I mean, if I'm doing most of my videos as a live stream, then I won't have to edit a lot of them, with the exception of the weekly tutorial. And then on Tuesday, I like to do, the more intricate videos, the videos that I really enjoy doing, even the editing process, the more complex videos and things like that. I have a video, actually, the video that will be going up tomorrow, I haven't even finished editing yet. I was working on it from like 7:30 this morning, all the way up until 10:30, where I realized I had lost track of time and needed to set up for the live stream. It's probably why the issue with the live stream on the first one was such a problem, because I hadn't configured my encoder correctly before starting. I think I know exactly what the problem with that stream was, and I'll test that out later, possibly. But yeah, so after I finish this live stream, I have to go right back into editing that video and preparing it to be uploaded so that I can schedule it out for tomorrow morning. Because I'm just a little bit behind on that, but I think that eventually I'll get everything situated. And I have to finish coloring the entire piece as well. The project that I'm working on, part of it is going up tomorrow as a tutorial on coloring skin. But the project sitting over there is not complete. I mean, it's pretty close. I would say it's like 70% complete, because most of it is skin. But I still have many hours to work on it, and I was hoping to have the video uploaded on Tuesday next week. And the thing about the video is I didn't make it as fancy as I usually make my large projects, and which is unfortunate, because I would like to. I really like the piece and I love the way that it's coming out. And I would like to make the time lapse a bit more entertaining. But I wanted to instead write kind of a short story to read as the time lapse is going on, because I kind of have a story behind the piece as far as the inspiration, and I really wanted to do kind of like a short story and read it as the time lapse was going on. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to write a compelling short story for the piece within a week, when I have a collaboration that I need to do as well, and I have an article for Colored Pencil magazine that I have to write, and I also have a book review that I have to do. So a lot of things happening all at once, and that's not even the end of it. I mean, I have two collaborations in the next 2 weeks. Um, I have one that I've finished drawing. I'm waiting for the other person to finish their piece. And then I have one that I haven't started that I'm pretty sure I need to have done by next week. Let me check the calendar. Yes, so next Tuesday will be a collaboration video, so that gives me a bit more time on my short story for that piece over there. But that just means that I have to work even more than I anticipated, which seems to be a weekly occurrence, as always needing to work more than what I expected. My water looks like watermelon juice. Like watermelon juice. It's the prettiest paint water I've ever had. Can't imagine it's going to stay nice looking as I'm working in more browns and I'm about to switch to yellow. So what are some of the projects that all of you are currently working on? Do you have any fun projects happening? Some new artworks or some new ideas that you're playing around with? I'd love to hear what you guys are working on. I still have this whole series of tutorials that I've had planned for like a month and a half that I still haven't even started. I think I'll probably start them when I get back from London. But I feel like I'm kind of running out of ideas for my weekly tutorials. I'm not even sure what to do anymore at this point. I think I might do some more flowers though, and I want to do some landscape stuff. I'm going to do some more clouds as well. Oh, your first powder blender project. That sounds like a lot of fun. I really want to eventually give that a try. I'm a bit, as much as I love the look that I've seen from the powder blender, I'm still a bit skeptical of how it works, and a bit skeptical of whether or not I will enjoy working on the sanded paper because I'm so against texture. Oh goodness, I just can't stand texture, and I hope that that doesn't ruin the experience of powder blender for me. A surreal pastel project, that sounds like fun. I haven't worked in pastel before, though I've seen Jason Morgan work on some pastel pencil stuff that it's just been fantastic looking. All of these fun projects that I see in all these different mediums just makes me want to buy them all. I just want all of the mediums. I mean, I'm finally getting to acrylic after like 7 or 8 months. I mean, I've lived in Poland for almost a year now, and actually in a couple months, so like 10 months, I've lived in Poland, and I'm just now getting acrylic paint. And acrylic paint is like one of the easiest paints to get into since it's so clean and non-toxic as opposed to oil paints, which I really hope I can get back into eventually. What does your surreal pastel picture have in it? Like, what are some of the features of it that you're working on? Is it kind of like a surreal landscape kind of thing, or something a bit different? I've never tried working with fabric markers before. That would be kind of fun to make your own shirts and things. Oh, coloring shoes with markers. I wouldn't have thought of that. Although I did see like a video one time of this guy doing like airbrushing on shoes or whatnot. I'm not a big shoe person, I guess. So I would never consider wearing shoes that has artwork on it before. My shoes always just get destroyed, no matter how well I try to take care of them. I always end up walking holes into them. Halfway through the next batch of 12. This is a yellow oxide color. Oh, that's cool. Do you have a work in progress picture, Chrissy, for your surreal work? Is it on Instagram or something like that? It sounds cool. Oh, goodness. So much brush cleaning. Maybe I should add one more brush so I can have this one sitting in water for a little bit. Let me grab another flat brush. And here is a Naples yellow. Okay. I think that I may have come across your name on Instagram. I'm not entirely sure. I don't do Instagram too much. I post every maybe once a week or something like that, but I rarely uh, I rarely look at anything on Instagram. But I'll have to check it out. Or maybe if you have it on Facebook, that would be easier. I presume that you're in the Lockery Fine Art group. And if that's the case, maybe you posted it in there. And if so, I'll have to check it out after the stream. That's one of the best things about my Facebook page is that I get to see tons of artwork amidst all the drama that old friends and family constantly irritate me with. Speaking of family, my sister said she might jump on the live stream. Either she forgot or got busy. I'm guessing it's the she forgot. Yeah, I was really surprised to see how well last week's live stream did. I mean, it's like over 600 views or something right now, which kind of shocking, actually. There's not too many of my videos that get over 600 views in just a week. So I was kind of surprised by that. I wasn't entirely sure how that was even possible. Cadmium orange. This is like neon orange. I wasn't expecting this color out of this tube. Look how yellow the tube is and how neon the actual paint is. I don't know why they wouldn't try to match the color to the outside just even a little bit better. I mean, this is super orange. This is like brake light orange or something. Caution cone, construction cone orange or something like that. But the tube is so yellow. I may randomly be disturbed today during the live stream by my landlord. Not entirely sure, but I am anticipating it a little bit. Might the flat above me had a little bit of a leak in the kitchen and it started to come down in the corner of my kitchen. So they're supposed to come by and like fix it or something like that. But I have no idea what time. And my landlord only speaks Polish. I don't speak Polish yet. So it might be would be quite the experience. But if that's the case, I'll have to stop the live streaming a bit earlier than anticipated. And by earlier, I mean before I finish this color palette that is taking me forever to do. I don't think that I'm going to torture everybody to the point that I continue to do this color palette as a live stream color chart. So if I don't finish it on today's live stream, then I will most likely just finish it during the week and continue with something new on next Monday, which I'm not entirely sure what will be. So if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know what you'd like to see on the next live stream. Or any tutorial in the future that you'd like to maybe see me do as a live stream. I have to figure something out for Wednesday. I was thinking about doing a rose, but I don't know if that is what I'm going to do. But I do want to live stream a tutorial from beginning to end, just to kind of set the stage for what I'm going to be doing on my Patreon page. What is the difference between these yellows? Cadmium yellow? Okay, so this is deep. This is medium. These yellows almost look identical. I can kind of see the difference now. This one's a little bit cooler and this one's warmer. Oh goodness, not even 24. Two more left in this little tray here before switching. It's going to take even longer when I start mixing in the white and the black into all these colors. This is the cad yellow light hue. This is even warmer than that one. Kind of goes cool yellow, warm yellow, hot yellow. Like the neon that we had in this cad orange here. Kind of have a hair stuck in my paint. I don't like it. Out of there. I always hated it when hairs would get stuck in my paintings. And I'd have to sit there and brush it all the way to the edge to the point that I could finally grab it and take it off. It's so annoying. It's one of those things that gets under my skin. Some people might not even be bothered by the brush hair in their paint, but goodness, it drives me nuts. Stephanie, you're tempting me to grab my iPad and check out the rest of Chrissy's art. Maybe after I finish this next yellow. So this primary yellow. I'll grab my iPad really quick. Break up some of the monotony of painting all these lovely squares. Yeah, doing the little color chart is definitely good. Oh, look everybody, my fiance is in the chat. She can't hear me because she's at work. Okay, she gave us good news about the landlord. He won't be coming and bothering me. Kłamcze, kochanie. Okay, so I finished this square, so this is number 24. And I'm going to switch trays now. So they all come in these nice trays, so that's the second 12. Let me grab my iPad. And let's all check out. Sorry. Let's all check out Chrissy's art on Instagram. So her name is Xrisart. Xrisart. See here. People. Xrisart. Chrissy Murray. So here's Chrissy's artwork. Oh, wow. That is cool. That is awesome looking. I really like that. I really like the plane being held up by the whale. That is pure genius. That is so awesome. Such a cool concept. So you said that you were working on a surreal piece. Of a girl or something in the midst of something else. Oh, you have a lot of really cool surreal pieces. I like this one with the castle on her head. That's cool. You have great colors and lighting established in your work. Very cool. I like the colors in this one too. Oh, you painted that on like a little bag thingy. That's a cool idea. Oh, did I pass it? Is it this one? Is it this one here? This, oh, no. Oh, okay. Maybe this is the one that you're referring to earlier. That one looks like it's coming out really cool. I like your Justice one. I like this one a lot. This one's cool. I need to follow you. There, see, I'm following. Very cool, Chrissy. Thanks for sharing your Instagram. I look forward to seeing more of your work. Alright, so let's start on the next 24 of these lovely color squares. Oh, no problem, Chrissy. If you have lovely work, I enjoy seeing it, so thank you for creating it. That was fun. Maybe I should try to do that for future live streams as well. Just kind of have somebody share their Instagram and then just go creep on them. Live stream Instagram creeping. Goodness, here's another neon green color. Bunch of neon colors. I never worked with these before. I'll probably barely ever use them. But they're pretty. I'll find some use for them, I guess. Maybe I'll do like an only neon colors challenge, painting challenge thingy. I kind of like this green though. It reminds me of like pistachio pudding, which is my favorite, by the way. Just in case you were wondering, pistachio pudding. It looks delicious. Oh, Sandra, you're not late at it. You're not late at all. Thanks for coming by and checking out the live stream. I kind of had a mishap and was a bit had to start the live stream over, but got it all figured out and everything's working good now. So in no way are you late. Just finished looking at Chrissy's really awesome Instagram page, all her fantastic artwork. Sorry, I know I'm being a bit quiet right now. Uh, wasn't sure what I was thinking. But hopefully, all of you are still enjoying the live stream. I know I'm not doing anything amazing right now, but hopefully, you still enjoy hanging out. It sure is helping me get through all this stuff. Yeah, Instagram. I don't know how long I've been on Instagram, and though I probably could use it a lot more, um, I I just recently started to gain some following. Pretty much every time I post a picture now, I gain like 2 or 3 new followers. And then I always get like that one follower like each week that goes through like my whole catalog and likes all of my drawings and stuff. And it took a really long time just to get to that point. But like I said, I really haven't used Instagram all that much. Though I did sell a print um, off Instagram, which was it made it worth using. So that was nice. Oh, I can assure you that I will most likely be using these paints in a mixed medium project. Um, I I always like to mix mediums, and acrylic paint is just one of those mediums that you can just kind of mix with everything. Well, if you got Artista 365, if you got this same paint set, then I recommend you do a color chart just like this. This will make your life easier on future painting projects. All I did was, so if you want to know how I taped this off, so the length from here to here, each of these squares is 1.5 by 1.5 centimeter, I think. Yeah, it's 1.5 by 1.5 centimeter. And then each break is exactly a half of a centimeter. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23.5 centimeters across. So 23.5 centimeters across. And then I cut the strip of tape with an X-Acto knife and just crisscrossed them to break all the squares up evenly. And then, of course, after I carefully pull the tape off, I will have all the space I need to write in the name for the paint, for the color. What are some of the themes that I like to work with? Well, if you look through my DeviantArt page, you'll notice that I've pretty much done it all. Um, I've worked with all kinds of different themes and subjects and mediums. Um, but as far as a theme, I don't think there's really. Uh, I mean, I've done everything from like sci-fi to like happy landscapes to I don't know, even sad kind of work. So I don't know if there's really a theme that I stick to particularly, because I kind of just do whatever whatever I feel like. To be honest with you, I just do what I want. I say that to my fiance all the time. It drives her nuts. Uh, I just say I do what I want. But I mean, I'm I gain inspiration for my artwork from so many different locations that I can't really pin myself down into doing one thing. Like, I can't really see myself being a purely portrait artist. Um, Portraits are very fun to do, and I really enjoy doing them, but I don't just want to do them. And so I will jump from doing a portrait to doing a landscape to doing a still life, uh, using different mediums and different palettes and different color schemes and just a whole bunch of different stuff. And I feel like in a lot of ways I'm still self discovering what I really enjoy doing as an artist. And to be honest with you, what I've found that I enjoy doing the most, aside from everything, is teaching. Um, I mean, I graduated. Uh, I graduated with a bachelor's in mathematics with the intent to teach math at a high school level. So to teach art, to go from graduating uh, with a degree in math to becoming a full-time YouTube artist, I don't even know how that happens, but it did, and I still enjoy the idea of teaching. So that's what that's what I am doing, and I spend the most of my time on my channel going through uh, different subjects and teaching the method that I use to create everything that I create. And a lot of the times, when it comes to teaching the stuff that I do on my channel, I'm probably the one that learns the most because everything that I've taught up to this point on my channel has been a learning experience for me because I've always wanted to take what I know or what I'm capable of doing and try to explain it in a way that breaks it down kind of into the simplest form. That way it can be applied generally as opposed to specifically. I hope that that's something that I can convey well in some of my tutorials. I think some of my tutorials are much better than others in doing that, but that's what I like to do. And so that's probably why I focus so much on creating tutorials rather than creating original pieces. So I still find time to incorporate a little bit of both, creating original pieces and then creating tutorials out of them. Yeah, changing it up is definitely a great way to not get bored. I have not yet gotten bored of being an artist. Thank you, Chrissy. I'm glad that you think that I do a good job at explaining things. I do my best, that is for sure. I do my best. Yeah. I think that's one of the things about art that I love the most is that we are always learning. And as close as you come to mastering something in art, there's always something new that can be created with it. And that's what I enjoy the most about it. I think that because the perfection that I seek in art is creating the best imperfections, there's really no mastery that's possible. You can just create the best that you can and move on from there. Just it's a constant state of evolution. And I never feel like I'm ever close enough to mastering anything to call myself a master at it. And I always seek to reach that level of perfection that I idealize with my art, knowing that I'll never reach it, but it's always a fun goal to try to approach. So that's one of the things that I think about when I'm doing art. I'm always trying to seek that level of perfection I know that doesn't exist. But I always have fun with it. Yeah, that's a good quote, Stephanie. If you don't feel like there's anything more than you can learn, then there's definitely a change that you need to make. I think I came across a lady. Um, Goodness, I think she messaged me personally, or she replied. Yeah, she replied to a comment that I left on a YouTube video, talking about one of her still life pieces of some kind. She was an interesting lady, let's just say that. But she was very arrogant about her work. I can't say proud because it was much more than proud. And she asked me to go look at it, tell her what I thought. And I looked at it and it wasn't atrocious. It wasn't atrocious. For the level that she was talking about her work, it was atrocious though. And she self-proclaims to be a master at hyper-realism, photorealistic painting. I think it may have been colored pencil though. And when I looked at it, I saw no indication whatsoever of either mastery or photorealism. And as nicely as I could, I conveyed this opinion that she still has work to do, but she couldn't hear it because she had convinced herself so thoroughly that she had nothing more to learn. And with that kind of attitude towards her work, she may never progress beyond the mediocrity that she displayed. So yeah, I never will get to that level of perfection, and I never want to, because I think that if I were to ever get to that point, then art would probably become a bit boring to me. I always enjoy those moments when I'm working on a piece where I forget the rest of the world exists. It hasn't happened too often lately, but it still happens occasionally, and I'll just sit there and I'll draw, and nothing else will matter except the next line that I create or the next color I put down. It's the most fun that I can have. Yeah, I agree. Different perspectives, even if it comes from a beginner, can teach you. I think communication amongst the teacher and the student is probably more important than what the teacher knows. So, if a beginner can communicate something, even something basic or simple, then they can teach you a lot. That's why I enjoy watching so many different artists, tons of different mediums, tons of different styles, regardless of the level that people would put them. I enjoy their work, even the most simple of work, because it can inspire something that you can never really expect. I should have brought some extra paper towels. Yeah, I agree, Anne. If I woke up one day and felt like I had nothing more to learn, I'd pinch myself and hope to wake myself up from the nightmare. I would hate to feel like art is no longer a challenge. I think perhaps that's why I enjoy doing new things every single time I pick up a pencil or a brush. I never want to get I never want to get too good at anything, because if I do, it might just become boring. I really like hanging out with all of you and painting and talking about art stuff. It's so fun. It would be it would be really fun to just set up a Google Hangout with everybody and just sit around and complain about complain about things and talk about art and create. I think that would be the most fun I could imagine having. I used to I used to work in a live studio um, with a bunch of other artists. There was probably mm, there's probably four, maybe five people that were always kind of in there working on something, and everybody had their own style, and just so fun to be surrounded by so much artistic talent and lovely people too. Um, doing this doing this kind of reminds me of that. It's really nice. I just feel like I could sit here and paint these squares for the rest of my life because it's just so much fun. Almost done with the third tray now. Primary blue. Oh goodness. This is taking a bit longer than what I anticipated. It's already going on 1 o'clock here. I didn't want to I didn't really want to stream for more than 4 hours because the YouTube, the DVR on YouTube can only save up for 4 hours at a time, and then the video has to go process and all that stuff. And so the beginning always gets cut off of the live long streams. Hello, Monica. Thanks for coming, checking out the live stream. So, tips for beginners. Could you be a bit more specific as to what medium that you might be referring to as far as what you're beginning in? I'm happy to have as many tips as you would like to know, but maybe we can narrow it down a little bit to something a bit more specific. I don't know if the third row has gone faster, Stephanie. Perhaps the conversation is just a bit better than the conversation in the first two rows. I kind of feel the opposite, like the third row took the longest. I don't really like these two because they're so translucent. But there's the end of this row. That is until I start adding white and black. So beginner watercolor and beginner charcoal. Oh goodness. Well, I don't have a whole lot of experience with watercolor, but as far as charcoal, charcoal is very similar to graphite, but it has a little bit more play to it. It's a little bit looser on the paper. So what I would, for both, as far as a beginner, I would say play around. I know that when I first started doing art stuff, that's one of the things I did the most was play around. Just kind of experiment. Figure out how the medium that you're working with works. So if you're working with watercolors, you play around with the colors, play around with the amount of water, the brush, the shape of your brush, and get used to those things. And the more you get used to how the paint lays down, how the paint moves around on your paper, try different papers. It's always nice to try different papers because it took me quite a long time to figure out the kind of paper that I really liked to work on, especially with colored pencils, markers, and ink. So test out different papers, and don't ever feel like you have to have a whole bunch of art supplies when you're starting out. I would say, when I started doing art, it was just a pencil and ink. A pencil and ink pens, that's all I started with. And then from there, I kind of dabbled in a little bit as far as painting with acrylics. I did a little bit of that. And then from there, I got into oil paints, but not until I was in college did I start playing with oil paints. And then a couple years after that is when I picked up my first colored pencils. Never used colored pencils until just a couple years ago. Look, I created art. Should just frame it and sell it for like $2 million. And that's the kind of price you'd probably get for something like this, $2 million, right? All that ridiculous nonsense they sell and call art nowadays. I like this purple. I can already tell. Look at that. This is a purple that I could see my fiance wearing. She has a really nice soft skin tone, and the pastel colors just go so well with her. I could definitely see her wearing something purple like this. So I already like this color. $3 million? Yeah. The lighter turquoise color? What, this one here or this one? You're referring to this one, Stephanie? Yeah, I would say, so let's see, the colors that, well, no, let me finish this bottom row and then we'll talk about the colors I like the most. But I do like this purple. This purple would go good in skin tone as well. A shadow transition color right here, this purple. Believe it or not. Purple's a good skin tone color. Glazing. Messing up messing up the shadows and skin tones is kind of what I'm going to be talking about in tomorrow's video tutorial on skin tones. Here's a dark, this is a violet color here, much darker purple. I don't know how well this tape, so it's kind of off topic, but the tape that I have laid on this paper, I really have no idea how well I'm going to be able to pull it up off the paper. I've been kind of searching around frantically for a while now to get good masking tape here in Poland because I had one kind and it's just terrible. It just peels off and it's complete garbage. Oh, I understand, Monica. Yeah. It's always fun to try out new mediums, especially especially when you want to change the subject that you're working on. For instance, like if you want to get into landscapes, then I definitely recommend paint over colored pencil. But for portraits, you want to do portraits. I would say if you're still struggling as a beginner, if you're still struggling kind of with your portraits, I highly recommend you stick with graphite for a little bit longer and practice on your drawing. When it comes to portraits, a lot of people struggle with portraits, and a lot of people kind of stay away from them because creating the likeness of a person in a portrait is one of the most difficult things to do. And it just takes time and it takes practice, but there's a lot of fun techniques for drawing that I think everybody should take the time to learn. For instance, the gridding method. I think that everybody should take the time to get good at gridding. And I don't grid anymore. I started out doing it, but I don't need to anymore because I use a different system of drawing that's a bit more advanced. And it's also faster because I don't have to draw all these lines and stuff. But gridding is a great way for you to train your eyes to see the shapes of things, because what happens when you're drawing, especially in portraits, is you imagine the shape of what you're drawing in 3D based on the reference photo or whatnot. And what ends up happening is when you try to just freehand it without any guidelines or anything like that, is you always end up exaggerating kind of the features of the face. For instance, like the nose. You bring up the nose, and you know that the nose, sticks out of the face. So say you're doing kind of like a 3/4 view thing here. What you'll end up doing is bringing the nose out farther than what the drawing actually requires, because you know that the nose comes out, so you try to replicate that, and what ends up happening is most people tend to miss their mark with the features because they try to bring them out more than what they actually are. Because a line drawing of a face is going to be very different than what it's going to look like after you shade it. Most of the depth in the 3D the three-dimensional aspect of a drawing comes from the shading itself rather than the actual lines of the work. So if you want to get into portraits or try to do more portraits, then I definitely recommend working with graphite or charcoal if you want to try charcoal out. But yeah, charcoal's a bit messy, like I said, and in order to do layers and kind of protect your work, you're going to have to buy a nice workable fixative to protect your layers as you blend them out slowly and do layers. And so I would probably say stick to graphite a bit more than charcoal, but you can always experiment. Maybe portraits aren't really what you want to do, and you're just looking to find that one medium that you just fall in love with. Because the medium that I never get to work in anymore and severely miss is oil paints. And as much as I'd like to get back into oil painting, just haven't found the place to introduce it back into my life. Hello, Sarah. There might be a slight there might be a slight typo in your comment. I'm not sure if you are intending to say that you don't like my account, but you're a supporter. I'm not quite sure what. But welcome to the live stream. I saw a few of your other comments, but I wasn't exactly sure how to respond to them. I don't know if I've ever had a fan in Saudi Arabia before, so that's interesting. Or from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I don't think doing laundry and working on oil and charcoals mix very well. I can agree there. That sounds like a mess. Yeah, I've heard the complaint about oils before that they don't really like oils because they take forever to dry and stuff like that. But that's exactly why I love oils. Um, I always kind of consider art to be the practice of patience. I think that just about anybody can create something really, really nice looking if they just spent the time, no matter how inexperienced or beginner, novice you are at something. But if you truly spend the time working on something, then I think just about anybody can create something really nice. And that's what I like about oils, is that they require a certain degree of patience just to use them, let alone being good at them. So that's kind of the reason I like oils. Oils are just my favorite. They I like the colors, just the way an oil painting feels and looks. I just don't think there's any other way to get that effect. So clearly I've gotten to the best colors. This is a Mars Black, which is probably the blackest paint I've ever seen in my life. My goodness. That is super black. It's very opaque black in comparison to this ivory black here. I have a large tube. What black did I get? See, I got ivory black. I made a mistake. I should have got, this is a big thing of ivory black. I should have got the Mars black instead. The Mars black is actually black. But maybe it's a bit more beneficial for mixing, to use the more transparent mixing black. Okay, so your question, you have a few questions actually. Is there a lot of work in art? And I think there might be somewhat of a misconception as to work in art. I think that there's a ton of opportunities to work in art, whether whether it's something like interior design or hairstyling, or architecture, or web design, graphic design. So there's a lot of different avenues of art, and I can't say that it's necessarily more or less difficult to be a traditional artist in the way that, like, I am a painting, drawing kind of artist that just kind of does their own thing. The thing is, if you can't find a job, then you need to make one. I'm not sure where I got that quote from, but that's the truth. Like, I didn't look for a job to be an artist. I created my YouTube channel. I saw potential in running a YouTube channel and doing this full time. This color is about to be really exciting, by the way. A nice titanium white. Look at that excitement. Anyway, so I saw potential in my YouTube channel to possibly do this full time and to generate an income, to make videos, but it required a lot, and it requires a lot to this day for me to keep this up. But there's game design, there's 3D animation, and I think if you're going to break into a field, there's comics, by the way, I forgot to mention that, there's comics. If you're going to break into a field such as like game design or 3D animation or anything like that, then I think the best route might be to go to a good art school for that specific field. Not so much in the aspect of learning, art. I think I think learning art is much more of a self-discovery than a classroom discovery. So that's still going to require a tremendous amount of practice and dedication outside of the academic atmosphere. But if you're going to be going into those kind of things, I think art school is the direction to go because it allows you to connect with the people you need to connect with in order to make it a career. In order to meet the people that are necessary to give you those jobs or to offer those jobs. But then again, you can go to the school, learn the trade of, say, 3D animation or something like that. And if you can't find a job being a 3D animator at, like, Pixar or Disney or whatever, then make your own. If you can do 3D animation, do it as a hobby, create your own stuff, make your own videos and movies and whatnot, and put your heart into it, and people will appreciate that, and you can create something from it, just as I've created something from my art with almost no. I had very little experience whatsoever with anything when it came to setting up my channel and making art. Art was always just a fun hobby to me. I created a YouTube channel kind of therapeutically, and because so many people would comment and they liked my art, so I decided to just try to share it on a larger platform than a sketchbook. And it's evolved into what this channel is today. In no way did I start this channel with the intent of ever becoming a full-time YouTuber. Like I said, I went to college and got my degree in mathematics to be a high school math teacher. So it's kind of just an accident, I guess, to fall into this, and then but it is no accident for me to be successful. I have to put in the work for that. So hopefully that answered your question in some way. I still can't get over how black this Mars black is. It's so dark. It's like if I look into it enough, I might actually fall into it. I kind of love it. This is silver, actually. This is this is just silver. That's the name of it, silver. It has a metallic shine to it. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but it's very metallic-y. Similar to the copper up here, very metallic. I think I have two more metallic colors. I have bronze and I have gold. Oh goodness, I'm almost done with all 48 colors. Oh, this is a really nice cream color. What is this? This is unbleached titanium. This is going to be a perfect skin tone color. I can already tell. This is like ideal skin tone mid-range base color. That's perfect. That is perfect. And it's very opaque, so that makes it even better. That's okay, Alex. No apology necessary. I'm glad you're back, though. I'm almost done with the first 48 colors. in just in time, because now we're going to go through and see which ones are our favorite. So here's the gold color next. This is very metallic-y. It's very translucent, so this might take a couple layers here to kind of get some nice coverage. Very, very translucent. This is probably the most translucent paint that I have on here. I'm actually going to let that dry because it's so translucent. Yes, you're absolutely right, Artista. When I initially started my YouTube channel and things like that, even my first few videos, like I never really felt like I had put much time into the first few things, but now that I do it full time, I do 6 videos a week. Like I mentioned earlier on in the live stream, I work more now on my YouTube channel than I've ever worked before. And I was in the military, so you can just imagine the amount of work I did in the Navy. But yeah, it definitely, as I gained more experience, I definitely had a newfound respect for other full-time YouTube artists. That's okay, Sarah. I understand. Translations can be a bit difficult, but I'm glad we got that straightened out. I'm glad you like my work. I really appreciate it. Greetings from Poland, by the way. Anyways, the color I'm doing now is the bronze color, and I can already tell that I'm going to like it. This is the last of the 48 and the last of the metallics. So I have 4 metallic colors. The gold, after it dried, it became a bit more opaque. It kind of looks quite nice now. But I'm going to put another layer on it anyway. I think that's good for the bronze though. I will for sure, Monica. Thanks for coming by. Sorry about that. Thanks for coming by and checking out the live stream. I'll see you next time. Hey, Cece. Everybody in the live stream, my sister just showed up. Cece Zoelli. You can see her there. It's about time you make it to one of my live streams. I mean, it's only my 3rd one, so what can I expect? But it's nice to have you here. I don't even know how long I've been doing this live stream for. I don't have a clock anywhere. It doesn't tell me how long I've been live streaming. I have to click away. But that is it for the first, oh goodness, the first 48 colors. Only 96 more to go. Yeah, so my favorite colors is definitely this pink here. I really like this pistachio pudding color, and I kind of like this bright yellow, but maybe it's just because it's sitting next to the blue. I like these 2 colors, and I like this purple. And the Mars black, I still can't get over how black it is. It's just so lovely black. 2.5 hours? Goodness. All right, so now the real fun begins. Oh, goodness. Now I gotta mix everything with black and white. I think I'm gonna do white first, though. Get all my colors re-prepared. Yeah, I know. I saw you at the end of the second stream. Clean my brushes a bit. I don't yet have a palette knife to mix my paint, so I'm actually going to use one of my fiance's clay tools to do that. I have a feeling that this is going to take a long, long time. I don't know how much longer. I don't know how much longer I can stream for because I'm hungry. So I'm going to try to get so I'm going to use the titanium white. Here's the first color, this pink color here. And I'm going to try to balance this out the best I can. I'm going to use this little tool here. Actually, I think I'm going to use this end here because it's flat. But basically, I'm going to try to match the amount. What I want to do is get 50% this color and 50% white. So I'm just going to try to measure it out in a way. I think that's good. About 50% of that. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to break it up into two. I mean, that would be a good idea, maybe. But nah, I think I'll just keep going. And 50% white. That looks a bit much. Try to knock some of that off. There. All right. And now I gotta mix this up. Should be just a really light peach color at this point. Nice skin tone color. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I can kind of get a feeling of what each color is going to turn into when I add white or black. I mean, my mixing skills in paint are probably one of the best that you'll ever come across. And the reason is because I painted for the past 10 years only using the primary colors. So I know what to add to my paint to get the subtle hues that I needed to use in doing things like portraits and things like that. Well, yeah, the tubes are kind of small. They're 22 milliliters, but I think that if you use them correctly, or excuse me, goodness, sorry, I didn't see that sneeze coming from anywhere. I think that if you try to use them sparingly and not waste too much of it, then it shouldn't be much of a issue running out too fast. But because you know exactly what color you have, you can buy larger tubes of the colors you use most. But having all 48 of them kind of gives you a good framework as to what colors you're going to use most, what colors you may never use again, and things like that. So I don't think it's all bad. And this pack of 48 was very cheap. So thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, Hopefully that wasn't too loud, because if I knew it was coming, I would have muted the microphone, but I just didn't have a chance. It snuck up on me like a ninja. Um, but yeah. So you can see there is a subtle difference in saturation where you have like this pink, red kind of color, and then because I added the white, it really desaturates that, but it almost has the same value. Yeah, Alex, it's mostly the time difference. I mean, it's only 2 p.m. Well, no, it's 1:30 p.m. here now. And the U.S. New York time is 6 hours behind. So unless they're waking up for work at 7 o'clock in the morning, they're really not. They're really still just asleep. But I am trying to figure out what time frame for the live streams is better, and so I'm going to eventually do a live stream more in the my evening afternoon time. So 12:30 p.m. UK. Yeah, yeah. I don't have a strong UK fan base yet, but I do have a few. So, uh, and most of my viewership comes from the US, just like most YouTube channels. Um, the US fan base seems to be the strongest. Yeah, except for the lucky ones like you, Steph. All right, so moving on to the next color. Let's do this medium magenta. See what this turns into with a bit of white. Try to. I might just sit here all day painting. Yeah. CC, I will be doing another live stream this week. In fact, I have two. Um, I have two that I intend to do this week. I'm going to try to make my chair a bit more comfortable. So yeah, I might do the one Wednesday in the evening, so it'll be a bit better time frame for people to watch. And I'll see how the the analytics for that, because it wouldn't be too bad. The only thing is if I do it in the evening, my fiance would be home. I spend all day missing my fiance. The last thing I want to do is wait for her to get home just to start working. Uh, but I might do it once a week. I'll try to make it up to her by making her a really good dinner or something. Try to get the white mixed in here nice and good. I think that's adequate enough. I should get more paper towel. Unfortunately, I only grabbed two. All right, so let's see this color here. This is a nice pastel looking color. It just comes from this, which is a bit surprising, because this is kind of hot pink almost. It's quite bright, but adding just a little bit of white, 50% white, 50% whatever that color is, the light magenta. Get a nice pastel pink. This is another benefit of doing this color palette, or this color chart, is adding the 50% white. I see what the colors after being mixed create, and that's going to help out when creating my color palettes for artwork. Yeah, Alex, I am quite thirsty, but I have plenty of water right here. No, you're right. I have my water bottle over there. I should probably grab it. In fact, I will. My lips are kind of dry too. This happened on the first live stream. I was so comfortable. Why'd you have to move me, Alex? There. I got my water bottle. I figured if I'm going to be sitting here for probably another 6 hours, considering how long this color chart is taking me, then I probably should get some water and clean this. This is going to get messy. I just have a bad feeling about this. I need more paper towels. I need to switch sides a bit. I'm maximizing the use of this paper towel though, for sure. Now I'm getting paint all over my hands. This is fantastic. All right, now on to the cadmium red light hue with 50% white. All right. I definitely should have grabbed more paper towels. Is everybody still enjoying the live stream? I just feel like I'm not doing much. Now my chair's all crooked. Moved my table. See what getting up does? I have to move my chair. There. Try to get in here a little bit. Alright, still need white. Oh, this looks like a really nice orange color. I've never worked with these colors, so I'm mixing them for the first time. Yeah, you're right. I should just mix all this on like a piece of paper or something. I wasn't prepared. I'm just gonna stop cleaning it. I'll pay for it later when it's all dry and crusty. Alrighty then, let's see. what this orange turns into. Look at these skin tones. Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. This is just like the most perfect color. Not in a million years. Not in a million years would I have taken this color and mixed it with white and expected this. I mean, I've never used that color before in my life, so there's not much that I could have expected. But goodness gracious, this is just the most lovely skin tone color I've seen in my life. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It still has like the subtle orange, reddish, peach saturation that you just die for in skin tones. So let's see, what was that? So cadmium red light hue, 50% white. 50% white. That is the magic that you're gonna get with that color. I just can't get over it. Look how freaking pretty it is. I just want to paint the rest of the squares this color, because what other color do I need? Yes, I'm using Liquitex Basics. Nothing fancy, but the paints just are the best. Yeah, you're right. The white made it more opaque, um, which is another good benefit to have. Thanks, Alex. I'm glad you're still watching, even though it's a little boring. I appreciate the honesty. Well, anyways, I may have mentioned it in my first live stream that as much as those that watch it might enjoy it or might not, I enjoy it. I just sit here and talk to my monitor all day long as people are in the comments hanging out and enjoying the sound of my voice, I guess. A lot of people seem to enjoy the sound of my voice lately. I've just been almost overwhelmed with comments about the soothing qualities of my voice. So I'll just keep talking. Hello, Lee. Good to see you again. It's about time you woke up and came to the live stream. I'm just kidding. Kind of. You missed all the excitement. I finished all 48 colors and now I'm just mixing them with white. This is a nice pink color with that bright red and white. I want to make sure there's no streaks in the paint so I get it as even as possible. I think that's good enough. This is another really pretty color. I think most of my favorite colors are going to come from when I mix all these colors with white. They're so nice looking. I just love the pastel quality. So Cece, you asked about other live streams for this week. Since I haven't mentioned it in a while, and this live stream is going on for a very long time, I am going to do a weekly tutorial on Wednesday. Yeah, it's like a salmon color. It's really pretty. I always liked the salmon color. I always wanted a car that color. Maybe a little less pink, but maybe a mixture, kind of an in-between between those two there. But yeah, so Wednesday I'm going to do another live stream of the weekly tutorial. So if you have colored pencils, then I recommend you come by that live stream, follow along, and we'll draw something together, color something together. I don't know what yet, but it will be something. If you have the pack of luminance colored pencils, then you can follow along exactly as I'm going to do. But I don't expect everybody to have that. But if you have any ideas, let me know, because like I said, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Thinking about doing a flower, but I'm not sure, not entirely sure about that just yet. I have the voice of a storyteller. That's funny. Why did you choose to lay out your colors separating each of the mixes? Do you find it more beneficial than putting one under the other? So I wanted to, I thought about like maybe doing this color and then doing the 50% white, 50% black, and then kind of doing that. The reason I didn't do that is because it's too late and I already added this color here. I mean, maybe I should have, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of breaking it up. This is the base colors in these 4 rows. In these 4 rows, it's going to be the 50% white, and in these 4 rows, it's going to be the 50% black. And I kind of just liked that concept and decided to stick with it. But no, it may have been a bit more beneficial to kind of do it in steps instead and have all the same color mix. But I know what the color chart, like what the end result's going to be. So I'll always be able to recognize what colors I need and stuff like that. But I'm not trying to make it look I'm not trying to make it look all that fancy. It's just going to hang beside me for future reference. It was I really the only reason I did it on the live stream is so that I could talk about why you should do this in whatever medium that you're working with. Make a color chart. It's long. It's super boring to do. It takes a tremendous amount of time, and it never seems all that beneficial. But I can assure you that it is super beneficial. And I highly recommend that you do it, no matter how boring it is. Makes you want to paint while you're taking a watercolor class? That sounds like fun. Yeah, I've been wanting to get into watercolors a little bit more. I mean, I have my watercolor pencils, but goodness, I almost considered giving them away because I don't use them enough. But I really want to do a project with them. I don't have any watercolor paper at the moment. but I'm going to use them eventually. They just haven't been that fun. Um, yeah. Here's another nice salmon-esque color. I like this color too. Like I said, I'm gonna like all of these pastel looking colors. They're just so comforting. Yeah, it would be beneficial to people that don't have the patience to create the color chart themselves. However, photographing this color chart and then making a digital version of it, um, it's going to change. If you look at it on a screen, it's going to change based on the calibration that the person has for their screen. And the colors aren't going to be exact. The only way to have an effective color chart is to make one and have it sitting in the room that you're painting in. Because otherwise it's not going to look the way that it looks in real. Even if you print it out on paper. Yes, Lee, make a color chart with your luminance. Do it. Have fun with me making color charts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. We're on the 6th color. Halfway through the 5th line, 5th row. Yeah, this is very helpful. Absolutely, very, very helpful when painting. One of the things that I always do with my pieces is I plan. I always know what colors I'm using. I'm never guessing. Never guessing. I always know what colors I'm using. And because I have my color chart, I look over, I find the exact colors that I'm going to use. I pull them out of my box and I put the rest of my pencils away. And then that's it. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, the color chart is just, it's so invaluable. It's so invaluable. Just, you gotta do it. I've been reluctant to. So I showed this earlier, but here's my marker chart. Here's my markers. And then I didn't want to take this off the wall, but I will take it off the wall. Here is my color chart for my luminance colored pencils. These are 1-inch squares with an 8-inch gap in between. I measured it. Oh, no. Oh, okay. It's okay. I measured it exactly so that I could fit this precisely in the middle. I did all the math to make sure that this color chart was as large as possible and had all these squares. Obviously, luminance pencils only has 74 colors, so that's why it stops here. But yeah, this color chart is invaluable. I would not sell this color chart for any amount of money because it was very painful and took a very long time to make. But I cannot stress the amount of importance that this color chart is, because it just, gosh, it saves me so much time. Yes, I agree, Sarah. Colors definitely make you want to put makeup on. I was doing my fiance's makeup the last couple days because she wanted me to. I did it. I did her makeup last night for like over an hour. We were watching a makeup tutorial on YouTube together, and so I was following the tutorial and was trying to do her makeup. I think it came out quite well. I posted the picture on Facebook on my personal page. But I always struggle with putting eyeliner on her. I'm not too good at putting the eyeliner on, but I'm getting better. Just a bit of practice. It's just like makeup is just like painting on a face. That's what it feels like to me. So it's still fun side of art. Let's see here. This is another kind of a light purple pink, similar to that color there. It's a bit cooler. It's really interesting the way the white paint is so drastically changing the original color. I was really not expecting it to be so drastic, but I mean, it really cools down some of these super hot colors. All right, moving on to the next color. The next color is primary red. All right, so this one should be fun. So Lee, did you start? Are you gonna? Yeah, it's a pretty nice painting exercise. She enjoys it too. Um, are you gonna make a color chart of your luminance pencils after I showed you mine? Oh goodness. The time I am putting into this color chart. I'm gonna have to paint for the next year and a half just to make up for it. um, Live streaming using Wi-Fi? I honestly can't recommend doing that. Um, there's always a bit of a delay with Wi-Fi, and the connection would be a bit slower. Um, And the faster the connection, the better quality video that you can stream. But people, I mean, people live stream from their phone. So I'm sure you could use Wi-Fi, though I don't recommend that. I'm definitely hardwired. I'm hardwired and I have the fastest internet. At least the fastest internet that I can possibly get. That's good. Make sure you share a picture of your color chart. I want to make sure you're telling the truth. I have some light coming in. The sun is coming around. It's starting to shine in the window. I usually don't work this late in the afternoon as far as like recording time lapses and shooting video because the time of year the sun is a lot lower in the southern hemisphere, and so it falls right on the horizon right over there for most of the late afternoon, early evening. I mean, the sun is going to set in just a few hours. It sets really early because I'm so far north. But yeah, usually I close my window blinds, but I had such good, there's a lot of clouds out today, so I had really good diffused light, so I decided to leave them open for the live stream, but I might have to close them. Look at all these pretty pastel colors. They're so opaque and everything. They're just fantastic. They're just, gosh, they're so lovely looking. Can't get over how nice they look. I'm going to try to clean this a bit. Goodness, I'm getting paint all over myself. That did not work. Try this again. Well, I got a couple of them clean, but I might need to get some paper towels. This one is, at the beginning this was a work of art, now it's just a mess. Yeah, it's not working. And I'm running out of space as far as mixing my colors. So I might just need to throw this away now. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some paper towels for my hands. I'll be right back. All right, I have paper towels now. I always complain to my fiance that she uses the paper towels too much, and now here I am like bringing the whole roll to the room, and trying to clean in my color palette. I wouldn't normally do this if it weren't the fact that I'm live streaming. Usually I just, wash it in the sink or something like that. There. I think that's about as good as I need to get it. Need to move my trash can. There. Almost done, I promise. What mediums do you have your color charts done in your journal thing? And do you find like benefit? I mean, does the color chart help you out as much as it does me? All right, let's do some painting. My goodness, I'm slacking. At the rate that I'm going, I'm never going to finish this color chart. I'll be doing it for the rest of my life. Maybe then, cut off. Yeah, color charts can be very helpful. Sometimes my fiance uses my markers and she finds it helpful. I always make sure I give it to her when she's using the markers for something. And she can just look at the color chart, find the color that she needs, and start coloring. That's the best part. That's the best part about the color charts, is just having to look at what color you need and grabbing it. It saves time in the long run. I mean, of all the time that I'm going to spend on this color chart, it sure is going to save me a whole lot of time when it comes to selecting my colors, establishing my color palette for whatever I'm working on. And in the case of mixing, I'm going to go from just having 48 colors to choose from to having 144 colors, which is very nice because I've said it before. If you can't create what you want to with 144 colors, then there's no amount of colors in the world that will let you create what you need to. With that many colors to choose from, you can make whatever you want. This is a nice lavender color. Here we go. Lavender. I think the best part so far with these white mixed colors is that I haven't even come close to any of the previous colors. They're all different. Well, like I said, I have my color charts taped up beside my little table here, so I always have them right next to me. I think sometimes I run in, since I have so many colors with my markers, sometimes I run into the problem of not quite knowing what what color to choose out of like the selection that I have. Sometimes I have a couple colors that are so close together. It's like, oh, do I go with this one? Do I go with this one? And usually, what I do in cases like that is I try to think of what would complement the work the best. Sometimes I have a slightly warmer color. Sometimes I have a slightly cooler color, and so I just choose them accordingly based on the kind of mood and things that I'm trying to set in the scene that I'm creating. Oh goodness. Let's see. Next color. Next color is actually I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm going to call it magenta. It's a quinacridone. Quinacridone. Quinacridone? I don't know. Something like that. I have a good feeling about this color though. I like this color. It's also, um, yeah, I've been complimented on my patience quite a few times. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, the other really good thing about having the color palette for the paint specifically is that when you mix paint and when you lay down paint when it's still wet, it tends to have a bit different color than what it has when it dries. So when you have your color chart and it's already dry and everything, you have a much better idea as to what it's going to look like on your final piece when it dries. So that's another good benefit I forgot to mention about the color palette. Color chart. I keep calling it a color palette. It's not a color palette, it's a color chart. Yeah, a few. I mentioned doing like the color swatches, like the smaller things, but I like to have all the colors. I like to see them all together. I usually, I almost never have like a reference photo that I can really set a color swatch next to. Most of my reference photos are always like digital on the screen. And when I'm doing the color selection like that, I always I always do what I do in my how to color everything tutorial by breaking up the colors and creating a digital color palette, and then I take that color palette and I match it to my medium. That's what I do. Yeah, some of these colors are excellent skin tones. That one is by far my favorite, though, for sure. This is another really good skin tone. These three, actually. These three, and this is a good highlight skin tone. That one actually dried a bit lighter than what I thought it was going to. It seemed a bit darker when I first laid it down. It almost appeared as though the white didn't do anything at first, but it dried into a really beautiful color. I forgot to so for breakfast this morning I wanted to have pancake, and this is totally off topic, but considering I'm sitting here in a room by myself talking to people over the internet that can't really talk back except for some comments, I'm going to just bring up whatever topics I feel like. But so I was making a pancake this morning. I made the pancake mix yesterday, and for those of you that don't know, I'm vegan, so I make my pancakes a bit different. No eggs or milk or anything like that. So I ran out of applesauce, which is what I usually use to replace eggs in my pancake and baking stuff. So I decided to switch it out with a banana, and it ended up tasting awesome. I made it yesterday, but I wanted a pancake this morning, and I added a bit too much water, and so it came out more as a crepe than a pancake, and that's all I ate so far today. So I'm getting a bit hungry, to be honest with you, and a bit hungry. I have to go. It's just after midnight here now. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out, Chrissy. I really appreciate it. Hope you sleep well, and I'll see you next time. I do not. Let's see. So about 45 minutes, I think. I'll keep streaming for. I don't know. Maybe I will just break it up into a couple sections. Grab something to eat, relax for a moment, and set up another live stream. And then I'll live stream a little bit later in the afternoon. I'll have to close my window blinds because the light is starting to come in over here as well. And I can't really see my screen all that well because it's about to start shining in my face. I do appreciate everybody coming and hanging out, though. It's been fun. I'm excited for tomorrow's video. It's something a little different than what I've been working on in pretty much a long time. I'm excited for the piece to be completed. It's not quite complete even now. But you'll have a really good idea as to what I'm making after tomorrow's video. So the next live stream for sure will be on Wednesday, and it will be a tutorial from beginning to end. Still haven't figured out what I'm going to draw, but it will be a colored pencil tutorial, similar to my weekly tutorials that I've been doing for the past few months. Something simple. Yeah. So if you have any ideas what you'd like me to do a tutorial on, let me know. I'll strongly consider it because it's a lot better than the nothing of an idea that I have. Oh yes, you should definitely do it's a color chart, and if you're going to record it and have video on YouTube, then record doing the color chart, and then do a narration of the video after you finish, and talk about why you're doing it and the benefits that you get from doing it and stuff like that. I'm certainly having an absolute blast. Moving on to the next color. Let's see here. This is a red oxide. It's a fancy way of saying brown. And now for some white. Someone recommended not too long ago. I have too much trouble trying to keep track of everybody that suggests things, but of doing a portrait live stream, and I really like the idea, and I might do that eventually. But what I'd probably end up doing is doing it in pieces. I do like the background, tell you all the things that I'm doing, and then I do like the skin tones, the hair, and all that stuff as like separate live streams individually. I might do that eventually. I think it's a great idea. I really like doing the live streams. I mean, usually I'm listening to like music or somebody else's live stream while I'm recording my videos, and I'm working for a long time doing a time lapse or something like that. That's usually what I'm kind of listening to at the time, or a podcast or an audiobook. Oh, goodness gracious. The time and dedication to this. I might just have to call it quits after I finish this line here. No, I have not tried a Derwent graphic line painters. In fact, I haven't even heard of those before. Is it a pen? Oh, that's another really good skin tone color there. It's a good shadow transition. A lot of good skin tones. Alrighty then. So, on to the last color for this line here. Wait, what am I doing? I'm losing track. So it's a pen that you can use like watercolor, but it has properties of acrylic. Interesting. No, I've never heard of it before, but it does sound interesting. Very interesting. I don't have too many fancy art supplies. I mean, I have my ink pens, uh, and then my colored pencils, and then I do have watercolor pencils, but that's about as watercolor pencils is pretty much as fancy as I got. Nothing too fancy. I'll have to check that pen out, see what it's all about. It sounds really interesting. All right, I'm gonna set that there. All right, so this last one here is the copper. The copper mixed with white. I think what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of break, maybe get some food, and consider continuing this live stream with a second part, because yeah, it's been going on for quite some time. I may just try to finish this color chart before my fiance gets home. I still have to do some household work before she gets home from work, so I might have to put this on hold and do that instead. Still have the video for tomorrow to do as well. I have to finish editing that. It's not going to be the most... It's certainly not going to be the video I'm most proud of creating. I would have really liked to do more with it, but can't really change that at this point. Alright, so now that I'm just about to finish this line, I guess I will do a sign off, a little bit of a sign off, I guess. I appreciate everybody that came by, watched the live stream. Hopefully you had some fun, at least marginal amounts of fun that I had hanging out with everybody. Like I said, haven't really done anything spectacular here. But it was fun nonetheless. I enjoyed answering everybody's questions and just overall hanging out. I don't know if I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to get back online and continue live streaming this insane color chart. But if I do, then you'll get notified if you're subscribed to my channel. Alex, that would be fantastic. I'd love to see what you draw or what you create when you're watching my live streams. And I'm sure I'd see the results in the Facebook group. So yeah. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Maybe I'll be on a little bit later after I clean the house and get some food. And I will... other than that, I'll see you next time. I will be doing a live stream on Wednesday. You can see the sunlight is starting to come in, so I need to close the blinds. But for sure, I'll be doing a live stream Wednesday and Thursday. I need some ideas for the next chibi. I'm not 100% certain what I'm going to do for the next chibi. Maybe I'll just keep it a mystery and surprise everybody. I don't know. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Maybe I'll see you in a couple hours or whatnot, but if I don't, have fun creating your color charts, and I will see you next time. Take care. Peace.